Welcome back to Your 1230, the only podcast where our guests tell their story with the help of 12 questions in just 30 minutes. I'm your host, Mike Salitro, and today we are very excited to be joined by Dave Woodson. Dave has been a realtor for the last 11 years, a mortgage broker before that, a lifelong resident of Northwest Indiana. He's been married for 24 years, father of a daughter, loves to eat, cook, and go to the gym. He also does a weekly live show called Wine with Woodson, where he talks real estate and wherever else comes to mind, which can be found on Facebook. Dave, welcome. We are really excited to talk to you today.
Appreciate it, Mike. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you got it. And I want to start there at the end. How did Wine with Woodson start?
I was an admin of a group, a pretty large group. I'm not gonna say the names because I'm no longer a part of that group anymore. But we just live was coming on strong, and people were starting to do shows, and I figured one night I started doing a show, and I was drinking wine, and next week it was Wine with Woodson, and it just kind of 6 years later it was still Wine with Woodson with me doing a show for 30-40 minutes and just having fun and drinking a bottle of wine and having an excuse to drink and talk to my friends online, and it was exactly what it was. And it's gone through a couple different iterations where it was an interview show, then it was a panel show, and now it's just me talking to myself for 20-30 minutes. I'll have a guest on once in a while, but it's fun. I grew up listening to a disc jockey called Steve Dahl, and I went to school to become a disc jockey, but you hear my voice now. I don't have the pipes for it anymore, so it's my way of it's my therapy, if you will.
I love that it's gone through multiple iterations, and it sounds like wonderful therapy. And I think your pipes and voice are fine, so I wouldn't let that be any deterrent. The wine portion, is that something that you consider yourself an expert, a hobbyist? What is your level of wine enthusiasm?
I think we figured out that I've drank over 300 bottles of wine in the last 6 years.
And that's just on the show.
That's just on the show, yes. So yeah, I think I've slowly become an expert on Malbec and red wines. So people ask me my favorite ones, and I just tell them go pick out a nice 15 bottle of wine, and you can't go wrong with it.
No, especially with Malbec and red. So that's probably the best place to steer them in the world of wine.
Right.
So your background in both real estate sales as well as in mortgage, not a ton of folks in real estate have the opportunity to do both. What was the transition from lending to the realtor hat like?
It was right about 2010. I was consulting with some mortgage brokers and real estate agents across the nation, and how to use social media and video to grow their business. And I saw no one in my area, in my neck of the woods, was doing what I was doing. So I figured let's go sell real estate. And so that's why so I got my license and started doing it, and now people caught up with me, and I've got to reinvent myself a little bit here and there. And I've always been known as the video guy from day one. So I still do video, and people ask me questions about video, and so it was just a transition that was easy to make. And I don't miss doing mortgages, but I miss marketing mortgages. I was better at marketing them than I ever was doing them. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, and that probably
If I can go back and market them, I'd go back and market them in a heartbeat because they were fun.
what's fun about marketing mortgages, if I can just ask?
It was sorry. It was I don't know. It was just fun. It was wild west back then. It was we could say we could almost say anything we wanted to say, and within reason. Obviously, we couldn't say anything illegal, but we just had fun, and we can help our realtor partners get more leads, and it was to me it was just fun because I was a loose cannon, and but I knew what I couldn't say, what I couldn't say. and
You're
I pushed the envelope.
you're a reasonable guy, so no one would accuse you of being unreasonable, and certainly not taking any liberties with any of the products. So I don't think anybody's would expect that there. But you mentioned something interesting, that you were always the video guy. We're talking back in 2010, and obviously video is still a big part of marketing and social media today. Over the last 13, 15 years, it's much like your show. It's seen a lot of iterations. What are some things that are working well today, not just in real estate or mortgage, but in marketing, on social media, with the use of video specifically? What are you seeing that you like, or what are you doing that separates you from others in your area?
The fact that I'm doing video is separates me from the rest of the pack at this point. I have noticed some younger kids. I call them younger kids. I'm in my 50s at this point, and they're in their 20s, are catching up, or are doing real good videos, but they're not being consistent at it. They're doing 5 or 6, and they're not getting leads. They're not getting noticed, and so they quit doing it. And so I think what helps me, or what helps my marketing, is persistence. Is I'm not afraid to go stand on the street corner and hold the sign up that says "Use me, hire me" every day. Because that's what a video is. Video is. Video is putting you on the street corner out there with the sign spinner going, "Hire me." And it's persistence is the difference, is the key. That's what sets me apart. So sets anybody apart is persistence. If you do something once or twice, you might have some luck with that, but you're not going to have much luck if you got to do that mailer 12 times, not just twice, to the same neighborhood. The client, or the person who's the target of your marketing, needs to see you repetitiously.
That's interesting, because I think that's some of the best and most, I guess, common advice that you'll have, is that it is not going to, despite one's efforts and one's hope, that it's not going to be an overnight success when it comes to video or marketing in general. That you need to show up consistently. You need to have that message out there. Show your audience, your potential clients, who you are, what separates you, and why they should want to work with you, why they should care about what you're offering, and how it kind of separates you from everyone else out there. But it can be tough, because you mentioned that you're not seeing a result after 5 or 6 videos. Is there a number that somebody should commit to? Are there a number of hours, number of attempts, number of weeks that say,
in
okay, this is
I said I was gonna do 2 videos a week, and I did 2 videos a week for a year. And it's the video that I did 6 years ago that got me leads. So not people are seeing the ones I did 3 years ago, or they see the ones that I did last week. But they're not seeing the ones for 2020. But the ones for 2020 are the ones that are the building blocks. So commit to a year of doing 2 or 3 videos a week, whether they're doing shorts or whether they're doing TikTok. But I would say get on YouTube, because YouTube is hey, settle down. Sorry,
no problem.
He's a tag dog.
He's making sure you're safe.
But I can't. I lost my train of thought there for a second.
You were just talking about the benefits of YouTube.
It's a search engine. It's the second most used search engine. People are finding you on there all the time. We'll find you on there all the time, or we'll find your hometown, or the town you're doing videos on, or the community you're doing videos on, or the subdivision you're doing videos on, or the house you're doing videos on. No matter what you're doing videos on, someone's going to search for it. So go do videos and keyword it for search.
So I will try to stay out of the weeds, because a lot of that is interesting as far as how to do those things. But I think the headline, the really interesting thing there is that people are watching videos from 3 years ago, from 6 years ago. So it's not that I'm going to put this out 2 this week, and then next week those 2 videos are what they're watching, or that's where I'm going to get my clients. That these have a long tail, and that it is a long play. Are you making evergreen material with each of your videos, or how do you knowing that there can be a gap of, as you said, 6 years before someone's watching it or taking action on it, how does that determine what you include or what you're filming in these videos?
Well, I know if I do a video on a subdivision, that's gonna be evergreen. That subdivision is gonna be there for the next 50, 75 years. So someone's so that's my Zillow killer per se. Someone's gonna drive by and see the Crestview subdivision, and they're gonna want more information on it. So they're gonna type in Crestview subdivision, and up comes my video of it, a 3 minute video of me driving around the area, talking about the homes that are in talking about the homes. But I also do a video every week that's the top 5 homes of the week, and that's not evergreen. That's this week, and that's this month. But it also gets my name out there as well, because I get about 100 views total on that across all the platforms. So that's a lead generator. That's now content. That's video, but it's still on YouTube. It builds up the algorithm. And I'm getting into the weeds again.
No, we're fine. When either back in the mortgage days or with the conversations you're having now, selling real estate, how do these videos serve as lead generation? What do the conversations look like? What are people telling you when they watch them? What's the feedback you get most often?
Great information. It helped to make a decision on an area. It helped them decide whether to use me or not. They thought that they grew to like me on the video, because the me you see is the me you get. I'm not being some fake guy on there. You notice I stutter and mumble. I leave those in, and it's what you see is what you get when you work with me at this point.
That's the beauty of video, especially when used in this medium for marketing, is that it allows you to connect directly with your someone, with a future buyer or seller who you may not know, and they get to see the real you. They get a glimpse of, hey, if I work with Dave, this is what it's going to look like. He made this joke a couple of weeks ago. I thought it was funny. Here he is playing off that, so they can actually feel like they're interacting with you without having the face-to-face, the phone, whatever interaction you like to say. So I completely agree with that. I think it's a great way to frame the content, that this is me, this is what you get, and this is why you want to work with me. Zooming out, going back to the bio, you have loves of eating, cooking, and going to the gym. I wanted to confirm that's the correct order of those loves as well.
Yeah, I love to eat.
What are you cooking right now for yourself?
We're in Florida right now for the winter, and I'm an agent that winters in Florida at this point. We're going to do it again next year, and my wife can work from anywhere, and I'm trying to work from anywhere. I'm building a team in Northwest Indiana so I can hand leads off to them, and they can close the deals for me. So our kitchen is not very well stocked up here right now. So right now we're doing take and bake from Costco, and but I love Italian food, so I cook a lot of Italian food: chili, pizza. Not chili. Chili's not Italian, but tacos again is not Italian. The lasagna, spaghetti. I create my own fare once in a while, but I just like I like watching the cooking shows, and it's like I think I'll make that tonight, and then go out and buy it and spend way too much money on ingredients and make a pretty good dish.
I like to ask because anytime I see cooking as either a hobby or a skill, I am fully on board with the eating part. You have me there, but I can't cook very much of anything. So I like to find out what and how. So you've done it.
My mom knew I was be difficult to get rid of, so she made sure I knew how to do laundry, iron, and cook.
Now that's interesting, because I don't know if my parents knew that I would also be difficult, but I can do the laundry and clean. I wonder if that was the reason for teaching me that as I was young. I never put that together before this very second. So thank you for putting that in my mind, Dave. But I want to highlight.
It was funny. All my friends asked me to iron their shirts in college because I knew how to iron. I knew how to iron.
It's a good skill to have. Uh, you mentioned that you're in Florida while being a lifelong Northwest Indiana resident. So that's where your real estate business is. And those of us in real estate know that being able to take a vacation from real estate can be difficult for some businesses, for some professionals. And then being physically away from the geography you work in is also difficult. Could you talk a little bit about how you've been able to build a business to get to that point?
Uh, it's not easy because I've got a broker. I got a broker that's very understanding. She's closing one deal for me tomorrow. She'll attend my closings. My clients all knew that I was leaving, and so I got two under contract right now. I got a third one that's about to go under contract as we speak. Um, I just hired a team. I hired a guy that was hungry, that wanted the leads, and he's willing to work all the leads that I give him. One of my strengths has always been lead generation. So the marketing and lead generation has always been my strength. Um, and just handing them off, having the systems to hand them off to the right guy, the right people, it helped. And having a strong brokerage as well. I come from a very small boutique brokerage, and it was funny. The last mortgage I wrote was for my broker, and the first deal I wrote as a real estate agent was for the same broker. So I've known her for quite some time, and we're a pretty good team together. She gives me leeway to hang myself a little bit here and there, and it hasn't been easy, but I feel like I told my wife the other night, I was like, I feel like I'm squeezing too hard and letting everything slip out of my hand a little bit. But I'm not worried about it because I blanked the first quarter before, but I'm not blanking this first quarter. I've already got deals closing, and I've got listings that are popping up. I already know when I get back, I've got two listings waiting for me when I get back, and I'll be back. I'll be back in March sometime, and uh, it hasn't been easy, but if you have the right team or the right people in your team, I think you can do it. If you're willing to give up some control. If you're not willing to give up control, you're screwed.
Yeah, I think you nail the two aspects of it: the ability to surround yourself with the right talent, the right team, and that includes your brokerage, that includes your administrative staff, that includes your partners in a real estate transaction, your mortgage professionals, your inspectors, your attorneys, your title people. You being having the right talent around you, being able to leverage their skills, their abilities. And then the second piece is, are you okay delegating, or how are you doing getting that to somebody else to do? Because there's a big communication piece in that you can have the best people, but if there isn't a good line of communication, something's gonna get missed, something's gonna get overlooked, or something's not going to get done properly. Is there a story, an anecdote, or anything that comes to mind when talking about how you've been able to build this team, and that build a team that has been able to work with you being geographically away? Because I can tell you, even if it's difficult, there are plenty of people working in real estate who do well, who just physically can't be away from their business because they haven't figured out how to do those two things.
Hire yourself one heck of a processor, and keep your paperwork in order, and just hand everything over to them, and give them the power and the strength to close that deal for you. Say, let your client know that when at this point I'm handing over my processor, talking to her is just as good as talking to me, if not better, because she's got more knowledge than I do at this point. She'll have the file from here on out. If you need me, call me. I'll answer your questions. But if she calls you, it's just like I'm calling you. If she needs a piece of paper from you, I need a piece of paper from you. So get it to her. So you got to set it. You have to set it. You have to set expectations both with yourself and your clients. You're not gonna be there in person for the next 8 weeks, but you be there by Zoom, by phone, by text, any way you want them to be, except in person. I'll be there for you. But it hasn't been easy. I got fired by a client but my broker took it over, and we're closing tomorrow on it. But they fired me not because I'm here, but because for another reason. And it was over miscommunication. They wanted more out of the inspection response than I was willing to write up, because it wasn't a major, it was a minor. So and they got mad at me. They fired me, but oh well, it's still closing and I'm still getting paid on it. So who's the winner out of that?
So you've hit on the two pieces kind of that overlap, both the team building and the delegation piece. We talked a little about communication, but also the expectation setting, which I think is probably just as important, if not more so, because if people know where they are, where they're going, and how it's expected to get there, it becomes a much smoother process most of the time. In the team building, part of that, before you can set expectations, before you communicate, is recruiting and hiring talent in real estate, or you've been lucky enough to be in other fields as well, real estate related. What do you look for in a strong teammate or somebody to complement what you do? How can you how could you give advice to others who are looking to build their team? What should they be looking for?
I'm not very good at team building at this one. I'm just learning to build my team. I got lucky, met this guy one night at a function. We hit it off, and we got lucky. Since then, I've struck out getting the team number two. But I'm looking for someone that's as aggressive as I am, that's willing to get on the phone, that's not afraid to say let's go. I always make the joke I'm a crack dealer, because the first one's always free. If you want to go see a house, let's go look at the house. Let's go look at it. Well, I'll show you the first one. Let's go look at it. After that, you got to get pre-approved. So I want someone that's willing to work, that's willing to drive an hour to go show a house that may not sell. I want a high D. I want a high I, because I'm a high D and I'm a high D or a low I, but I'm on the scale, and I have no S and no C on the disc. So I'm driven. But there are days like yesterday where I just got out of bed and sat on the couch all day and watched TV because it was Super Bowl Sunday. But I had nothing. I had nothing that I had to get done yesterday. So when it comes time to party, let's party and let's have fun. But I'm looking for someone that's I don't want to say young and aggressive, because there's a 78-year-old realtor down here that closed 5,000 homes last year. Can't think of his name in my life, but he's down here. He's down here in Florida. He's got a team that covers all of Florida. He got in real estate 5 years ago when he was 73. I bet your listeners know who I'm talking about. I just can't think of his name to save my life. So.
Well, I'm sure the same with any successful team, Florida, Indiana, as you mentioned with your processor, to have specific skill sets as well on that team, that to understand that there are multiple functions that go into a real estate transaction. And if you can simplify the amount of responsibilities, if you will, for that role, it does make the likelihood for success a little bit higher. And you've identified what your strengths are and how others can complement those. So I think that even if it is in the beginning of the team building process for you, that you surround yourself with good talent, and you're continuing to do so. Especially, again, most people are not away for any amount of time from their real estate business if they want to see it continue to move forward. And you've got deals closing, as you referenced. So very well done, Dave.
I'm good at crossing the T's and dotting the I's. I make sure every part of that contract is filled out to the T. Because I bought a refrigerator before, and I don't like doing that.
And that's important to know what your skill set is, and then how others can complement you. And that's a good example of that. So we are coming up on time here. We've covered a good amount of material. I was wondering, is there anything that I didn't ask you that I probably should have? I do have a couple other questions, but I want to put that one out there first.
If people were watching the video of this, they notice my tremor. I do have Parkinson's. So how does my Parkinson's affect my real estate? It doesn't. At this point, it doesn't. It affects my phone skills a little bit. It affects my talking and my talking here and there with my stuttering. But that's probably the one question you probably could have asked is how does my Parkinson's affect my real estate? But my answer is my short answer is it doesn't yet.
And I'm glad you brought that up because you've made it in all of our interactions, and including today, that you don't allow Parkinson's to affect what you do, how you do it, and how you communicate, or how you do your job working with your clients. So thank you for saying that, and I applaud you for mentioning it. So I really appreciate that. The other thing that I didn't discuss that is apparent from any interaction, at least ours, you've got a Purdue football T-shirt on. What is your tie to the school?
I'm a graduate. I graduated there in '93 with a degree in communications uh, uh, and bachelor's in communications and a degree in drinking.
Is that an effect? Go ahead.
I did not wait in line when it came to the bars. They knew me and they let me right in.
Yeah, always taking
Wasted
care of the
you.
good customers.
No, I'm a huge Purdue football fan. Even though we suck at most sports, and we're winning at basketball right now. But I know my team. That we'll blow it. We'll blow it at some point.
Not an overly optimistic outlook for at least the football team. The basketball team looks like it could make some noise as March is coming up. What do you see as the potential outcome for the Boilermakers in March Madness?
We'll go to the Final Four and get beat.
I think most schools would take that. So even if that is a non-optimistic look, I think a Final Four appearance would be welcomed by many schools.
Yeah, but I want a championship once in my lifetime,
Could still be this year.
just once. I'm not holding out hope.
Do you make it to many basketball or football games on campus?
I haven't been to a football game in about 2 years, but I've been to I used to go to at least one or two a year, but I haven't been I haven't been since COVID. But my best one I had Monday night, I had Saturday night football tickets for Purdue Notre Dame, row two seat row on the 50-yard line. My dad has one of my most cherished memories right there because he died within 3 years of dementia.
Mhm.
So, but he got to experience a football game on the 50-yard line. But it was row two. It wasn't row one. It was row two, but he absolutely loved it.
That's fantastic. The being so close and that visual, especially being able to share that with your father. I generally will come to this point toward the end of an interview where I will bury the lead and have something that I wish I'd followed up on at minute three. But anything else and that sounds like an incredible experience to be, that close to field, especially for an opponent like Notre Dame. Besides being with your dad, which I'm sure is going to be the lasting memory, what else do you recall from that game?
We lost. My niece was there as well, and she had just got married and she was there with her husband. My dad did not know she was there, so she came down and sat with her for a few minutes, and he absolutely was in seventh heaven with her there as well. So I remember her being there and just getting home at 3 o'clock in the morning. He was exhausted. I gave my mom a night off, and so he just enjoyed himself, and I was exhausted, but I was thrilled to have been there for him. So
Despite the outcome of the game, a lasting and fantastic memory. So thank you for sharing that with us, Dave. If our listeners want to find you, where can they connect with you or learn more about you?
I'm in Northwest Indiana. My number is 219-872-8000. That is my cell number. You can find me at buynwi.com, buynwi.com. or just Google me at this point. There's two other rollers named Dave Woodson, but I'm the one that you find everywhere on that has Dave Woodson at Twitter, Dave Woodson at Facebook, and Dave Woodson on YouTube and what have you. I've got Dave Woodson. If it's Dave Woodson something, I've got it tied up. Generally, I've got it tied up somewhere.
Nicely done.
So
We'll
what I understand, they both hate me at this point because I've got everything. Like I said, I've got everything Dave Woodson tied up.
Well, I can't imagine anybody hating you, Dave. We will post those links in the show notes. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a lot of fun. Enjoy the rest
Thanks,
of the time in Florida and the warm weather, and I look forward to doing it again.
Appreciate it, sir. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much.